Okay, hey YouTube, welcome to Moo Reviews. Today we're going to be going through Enter the Gungeon. So this is one of my favourite games ever made, quite frankly. Not top tier, but I loved it. I've sunk hours into it. It's a roguelike shooter, twin stick, very different in a lot of senses, but followed Binding of Isaac and all the games you expect to come, around that time. The reason I went for this game was, as my first review, was quite frankly just, it's fun. It's different. I sunk hundreds of hours into it. It's got a lot of creative elements to it, and it's highly recommended. So let's get on to the review. In terms of the story, it's really basic. It's you've got 4 characters, a couple of secret characters as well, and they all have their own different endings. To unlock those endings does take a little while, and you've got to do really good runs and have different guns, but the story, each Gungeoneer in theory has a little story, plus there's a really long-winded way of getting one of the last characters as well. You'll like it for what it is, and if you get into it you'll really play around with the story. There's also like little side areas such as the resourceful rat and so forth, so it's quite cool in that sense. For the story I'd give it a good 6 out of 10. In terms of the sound, I love the sound in this game. I think it's a really interesting game. It's quite basic in the way it looks, but each gun has a nice sound to it. They do little pings, they have like heavy sounds, they've got good reload sounds. Each gun's also quite unique as well, so the sound is highly rated. Give that a good 9 out of 10. Graphics is where this game lacks, to be honest. It's got a pixelated style. It's exactly what people expect from it, don't get me wrong, and what they went for, quite frankly. After playing this for so long and playing it for hundreds of hours, which maybe was what it was intended for, but graphics for me are where it could improve a lot more, and I'd love to see it Enter the Gungeon 2. Not the little mobile one they did recently, but a really nice, beefier version of this game with really nice updated visuals. The graphics for me are 6 out of 10. So we'll move on to the gameplay now. Now the gameplay is where this game's all at. I mean, I can pick this game up. I didn't even play it on this console heavily, but I thought, you know what, let me get a review for it, let me start from scratch, and oh my god, how much fun was this game. I got to experience all the bosses again, I got to experience having none of the guns unlocked, or even having that secret Gungeoneer as well, which I really love. Not the robot, the other Gungeoneer with all the synergies. And it was a blast to play. You just pick it up, you had a run, and the thing is, the runs are quite long. They're a good 45 minutes to an hour, and if you're obviously doing that playthrough where you have to do the run again, it gets really fun, and it gets quite long as well. So if you want a bit of depth, you can go for it. But if you want something that's nice, roguelite, pick up and play, can save it when you want to, this is perfect. Value for money, this is the cheapest chips game right now. It's really old, it's not new. You can pick it up in sales everywhere. You can get it for free on PlayStation as well if you get the PlayStation Extra bundle. Switch, you see it for less than £2 sometimes, and obviously Steam, same situation. But it's a great game, love it to bits. Highly recommended for the value, because you can spend a ridiculous amount of time on this game, whether you're unlocking things or just having a bit of fun. So for me, gameplay's 10 out of 10 whole way through. I'd like to just switch to some of this clip here. The bosses are so intense in this game. They really run you ragged. Like, some of them are really interesting and you start to get a flow. And when you do get that flow and you don't get hit, you actually get an extra heart, which is great. Mechanically, the game is so interesting. You basically start on a map, you start on a floor, let's say for instance, you can find a secret room, you can find a couple of chests, you can find keys. Keys are a finite resource to an extent. Sometimes you'll find loads, sometimes you'll find a couple. And what you're going to do is choose to open certain chests. And as you can see here, as we go to the clips, there is a lot of guns. There's shotguns that shoot arrows, there's big bomb machines that, you know, you can shoot one bomb at a time. You can see here even the shotgun arrows are excellent. They're strong, they're clean, they're tidy. Then we move on to other guns such as like the photon launcher from like Ghostbusters. You've got this teapot here that shoots hearts. When you reload, it gives you this nice like burning effect in a circle, which is quite funny. So it's like boiling the water again. You got t-shirt cannons, you got trash cannons, you got RPGs, you got SMGs, you got weird crazy guns like particle guns, and you've also got these really cool throwbacks to like loads of different games. So like the Cerebral Bore, for example, from Turok. It's just really interesting and really fun to see all these guns in play. You've obviously got your standard guns as well, don't get me wrong. But the guns are where this game really shines. It's just got so many different extra guns that some of them are really rubbish, but some of them are so fun to use and so different to use. You've got like banana bombs, for example. You've got a shotgun clip that shoots guns, right? It's bizarre. They've had so much fun with it and tried to really like play on your senses. So as a game, I think it's just really special. And you will have fun with the synergies. The synergies are when you pick up another item that potentially affects that gun and makes it a little bit better and adds a certain effect to it. Maybe makes it worse sometimes. But that's all the fun of this game, right? You get a run, you get a cool little synergy, or you even just get a cool gun and you just play through. You get through all the 5 floors, or even 6 if you're going for the extra, and you just get to have a bit of fun. Sometimes you get a dud weapon and you have to figure out what to do, but it is super fun and has a lot of depth to it. So for me, it's like one of my most highly recommended games. I mean, I got this hexagon here and I absolutely loved it. It was so clean. But as a summary, it's a great game. It's not the best story. Its sound design is great, don't get me wrong. The gameplay is 10 out of 10. The value for money is 10 out of 10. I highly recommend this game for anyone who wants to get into the roguelike genre and likes a good twin stick shooter. That's it for me. I'll give this game a 9 out of 10. Catch me for the next video. Any questions, give me a shout in the comments below. Peace. Thanks for listening to Moo Reviews.